So continuing to our Linux series of lectures. In this unit we are seeing basic commands of Linux. We have already studied some of the very basic commands. Let's focus on some more commands of Linux. The commands which we'll be seeing today is rm command, cp command and mv command. rm command is used to remove a file, cp command is used to copy and mv command is used to move. So we'll be seeing these three commands today. To move forward, let us see rm command. rm command is a command which is used to remove a file or a directory. This is a critical command that can delete your information by mistake also, so we have to use it with caution. So before using this remove command, let us see what are different files in our system. So let's create some files first which will be removing: touch f1, touch f2 and touch, sorry, we typed wrong spelling, therefore it has given a error message. Again we have typed wrong. What is happening with us? Let's clear the screen. Touch touch f2, yes, and touch f3. Now we have created three files. Let's see, yes, f1, f2, f3, and there are certain directories also which have created before. Let's see if something is there in these directories also. So this directory does not have anything, so let's create a file within this directory also. Touch f1. Now test2 directory also have a file known as f1. Now we will remove the files. Now to remove a file, we use a command rm and name of the file f1. The file f1 would be removed. Now we can clear the screen and see ls. You see that yes, f1 is no longer present in this present working directory, that is main directory. There is f1 file has been removed. Now if we want to remove with an interaction mode, that is it asks before removing, this thing also can be done. If I write rm minus I f2, so it will ask me that it is a regular empty file, do you want to remove this empty file? If I will say yes, then it will say remove. If I will type no, and then it will not remove. So if I, because I have typed n, so therefore this file you can see f2 has not been removed. But if I type yes, rm minus I f2, and I type yes, then if I list the files, you can see that f2 has been removed. There is only one file which is f3 which is remaining. So this is the way we can remove the files. Now to move forward, if I have to remove a directory, for example, there is a directory, let's see what is the name of the directory. The name of the directory is test2, one of the directory. So if I write rm test2, what do we expect, that whether it should remove this directory or it should give an error message, or what it will happen? So let's see what happens if I write directly rm test2. It says that we cannot remove it because it is a directory, therefore it cannot be removed. So to remove a directory, we use a second option, that is rm minus r, and then we write test2, rm minus r, and then we write test2. So if I write rm minus r test2, then the directory has been removed. You see, test2 has been removed. So the file which was within the directory, that has also been removed. The file which was within the directory, that has also been removed. Let's see, is there anything within test4? Sorry, cd test4, and let us clear the screen so that yes, cd test4, and then we list. So there are three things which is there in test4. Now I go back to the root directory, my main directory, and I say rm minus ri test4. what I am doing is I am removing the directory in an interactive mode. So see how specifically and intelligently it removes. It will ask for each and everything. It will ask that descend into directory, that you want to enter into the directory. I say yes, I want to enter into the directory. Then it says that do you want to descend into the directory test? I say yes. Then it says that you want to remove the file. I say yes. Then it says that you want to remove this directory. I say yes, and it removes the directory. Then it says that you want to remove the regular file f1 which is there in the test4 directory. I say yes. Then it says that you want to remove descend into directory test5 because there is another directory test5. I say yes. Then it says that there is a file f1 within test5. Do you want to remove? I say yes. Then it finally asks that you want to remove test5. I say yes. Then the last directory which is remaining is test4. So when I will say yes for it, then the directory will be removed. So what happens with an interactive mode, it is prompting at every situation. It is asking that whether you want to remove this file, whether you want to remove whether you want to remove this directory, whether you want to enter into the directory, whether you want to remove the file within the directory. So things become very simpler and very safe for us when we use rm-ri. So interactive mode is something which should be used and which keeps us from making certain errors which cannot be recovered. So if I say it will remove, now if I list this thing, you see that test4 has been removed. So this is the simple way that we can use the command which is known as a remove command. In the complete session, in the complete course, we will be studying various commands at different points. In the first unit, we are covering only the basic commands. So slowly and slowly, we will be seeing certain more complex commands also. So to continue with the basic commands, there is a command which is known as cp command, which is there you can copy your file from one place to another place. So just to write a syntax of it, we can write it like this, that you have to copy from source to destination. You have to copy from source to destination. Source means from where you are copying and destination means where you are copying it. So cp is the command which is used for copying from one place to another place. So suppose I have copied my file, or so let's see if any file is remaining in it. Yes, touch f3. So f3 is remaining. Let's see what is there in test directory. So test directory has got f10, f12, f13. There is nothing by the name of f3 in test directory. So we remove it by cp command. Oh, sorry, we copied by cp command. So I copy cp f3 and I send it in the directory test. So cp f3, I am copying f3 from the present working directory and I am sending it into the test directory. So I will put a / after test and it will go to f3 would be copied to test. So let's see if it has been copied. I change the directory and then I list. Yes, you see that it has been copied in test directory. f3 has been copied. So I return back to the present working directory and we clear the screen so that we get the space for it. So this is how we can use the copy command. Similarly, we can use the copy command within interactive mode also. So let's make one more file to it. Let's call it touch f1, and if we list, yes, f1 has been created, and we write cp-i so that it becomes in an interactive mode and it goes to the test directory by using this. And if I cd test now and I list it, then it says yes, f1 has been copied over here. So f1 has been copied over here, but no message has come. No message has come. Though we were using an interactive mode, why has the message not come? So this interactive mode is useful only when the name with the same, when the file with the same name already exists in it. For example, if I again use the command cp-i f1 and test directory, then only the interactive mode will come into the picture. Otherwise, it is of no use. So now it asks that overwrite this file. If the file with the same name already exists in the path, in the destination, then this interactive mode is of use. So if I say yes, then the file would be overwritten. So this is how we can copy a file from one directory to another directory. In the same way, we can in fact copy directories also. Let's see what are different directories. So over here we do not have any directory. So let's make certain directories: test1, test2, test3. So we have made 3 directories and let's list them. Yes, they have been created. As you can see, test1, test2, test3. These have been created over here. Test1, test2, test3. Now let's clear the screen over here and we copy. I say that we are copying test1 into the bigger directory, that was the test directory. Bigger directory means we are considering it as a parent directory. So let's see that if I copy it, cp minus r not specifying omitting directory, this one. So if I write it down like this, copy command, it says that minus r not specified. So it gives an error message. Why? Because whenever we were removing a directory, we were using minus r. Similarly, for copying a directory, we will use minus r, cp minus r, test1 and test. Now you will find that the directory has been copied. So to see that it has been copied, if I go back to test directory and I list it, you can see yes, test1 has been copied in test directory. So this is the way we copy a directory to another directory by using minus r feature. So this is for copying a directory or copying a file from one place to another place. Similarly, there is a very useful command which is known as mv command. Mv command is for moving a file. It is also for cutting a file and renaming it and sending it to some different place. For example, if I just want to rename a file in the same place, for example, this is let list f1 and f3. These are 2 files I have, and I want that move f1 from this place to the same place just with a different name, and I call it f10. So f1 would be renamed to f10 this time. It will not move somewhere. This will only rename it because we are cutting it, copying it and pasting it with a different name. So it is just moving it to some different place. In this, at the same place, it is just renaming it. For example, if I say that move test1 and I do not change the path, so what will it do? It will just change the name of test1 to test10. And if I see it, see no test1 occurs over here, only test10 is something which is there. So it is moving or renaming the file from one place to another place, or at the same place it is just renaming it. Now if I want to move it to a particular directory, how to do it? So let's see it that how we can move it for a particular directory. For example, there was a file f10 and we move it into, just hold on something, yes, we first let's list that so that we remember we have got test folder, test10, test2, test3. So let's see if there is anything in test2, and this time we list. So let's see, there is nothing in test2. So let's move a file f10 in test2. So how to move a file in test2? mv, name of the file, name of the directory, and forward slash. What will it do? It will move the file into test2 folder. Cannot stat f2, no such file or directory. It says that f10 does not exist. So let's list, let's see if f10 does not exist. Is it so? Oh sorry, see what happened, we were at test2 directory, we have to go to present working directory because f10 was there in present working directory, not in test2. Therefore this error has come. Okay, so mv f10 test2. Now if I list the file, you see f10 is no longer in the present working directory. Now if I move to test2 and I list the file, you see that f10 has moved to test2. So this is how we use the move command. So remove command, copy command and move command. These are the 3 more basic commands which we have seen today. Now having seen all these things, majority of the basic commands which are there in Basics Linux we have seen. We can be learning more commands as we proceed further to our lectures. Thank you.